I was sent 2 actual slide presentations from this school. And so I picked out a few slides from one of them, one on leadership, and I want to show you, here's what I would do if I was doing that slide deck. The first slide I picked out to work on looked like this. Now, my friends, a slide like this can induce narcolepsy, depression, and a general questioning of life choices. Don't show them a wall of text. Show them a little block of text and teach them how to build the dang wall. That's quotable right there. Tweet that. Don't show them a wall of text. Show them a block and teach them how to build the wall. So, what would I do if I wanted to convey this exact same information, but in a way that's pleasant to look at and will be memorable to them? Well, first I'm going to find an image. And then I'm going to incorporate the colors of that image into the letters I've got up here in the word leadership. And then I'm going to introduce the points one at a time. And I'm going to keep that color coding. And see, this way you can go through and spend as much time you want to on each point. You're going to cover them all anyway. You don't have to put them all on the screen at the same time. Slides are cheap. Use 5 instead of 1. And one more. And then you want to give them a little summary at the end of it before you move on to the next slide? Here's all 5 points. So that's one slide. Then I came across this slide. Now, information-wise, what's the most important thing in this slide? The most important thing is this quote. But in this slide, it's the third most prominent thing. So what would I do if I wanted to make this slide be retained by my audience? I would completely rethink how I do it. I don't want Jack floating in a little box over by the side. I want him to be part of a whole image. And then I'm going to say, here's who he is. Here's what he's talking about. Oh, here's our quote. Now it is the focus. See, now it looks like a billboard. Now it looks like a magazine ad. It does not look like a PowerPoint presentation, and that is my goal. Then I came across this slide, the big 5 personality traits. And I was puzzled by this because obviously somebody had gone to the trouble of thinking of this mnemonic device, O-C-E-A-N. But they did nothing with that on the slide. Well, I'm going to do everything with that on the slide because I want them to remember ocean. And then I want them to remember what each of those letters stand for. So I'm going to use the ocean. And then when it's time, I'm going to have each one of these letters bubble up and say, now we're going to talk about openness. And now we're going to talk about conscientiousness. And see, when you do it this way, they can't wait to see what the next one is. If you throw it all out there at once, they go, okay. Tease them. Show them previews of what you're going to show them. Well, that seems to have struck a nerve. I didn't come up with them. And then finally, I found this slide. Now, what's the problem with this slide? There's no prioritization. Everything has the same weight. Every word is about as important as every other word on the slide. Now, they found a nice clip art image of planes flying in formation to illustrate the concept of a leader. And I have no qualm with that, but again, it's set over here in a little box, and we don't know what's most important. What's least important here? Chapter 14 is least important. We don't need to know that. We need to know we're talking about leadership, and here are our objectives. So, here's the way I would do that. Now, I'm not going to ignore their airplanes. I'm going to bring in the planes, and then I'm going to bring in the points. And the leader plane points right at the important things I want to say. The information is the same. The presentation is what's different.